All right, good afternoon. So today I've just been kind of getting the stragglers here on the to-do list, and the next one I have is refactor items so that they work in the encyclopedia. And I probably will have to refactor like stats as well, or probably just continue the spaghetti train to make it so that you can see what all the stats do. I mean, a lot of it's obvious. Everyone knows what HP is, but still good to have that there. Items. Okay. So this is a game object. And yeah, essentially I want to refactor items. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first? Just because we haven't done it for a while, and we haven't done it since we've added armor. I just want to have a quick play. Quick little cheeky play of the game. And yeah, while it looked kind of overwhelming for a bit, because I was looking at my list, I was like, oh God, there's so much shit to do. It's starting to feel a bit better now. But yeah, I think the next step for today, so far, is to start with a little play. So let's do that. We want to build and run, except I think we're in Linux at the moment, so Windows, switch platform, that'll take a bit of time. And we'll do build and run. Oh, did that already do? No, of course not. Yeah. Knocking these things off the list, getting there piece by piece. Figuring all this shit out. I'm really pleased I got a couple more wish lists for the game yesterday. It's not much, but it's good for me. Better than 0 wish lists, right? In a day. And okay. Let's see if anything breaks immediately. But yeah, I want to try it with the new armor. One of the things we have to do is there's like a big change to balancing I have to do, because it's just going to be really awkward to balance things the way that they are. You have level 2 enemies like orcs, and basically they drop more XP, but they're considered to be stronger enemies, but they have a lower spawn rate. Which now with armor, I wonder if that's balanced. Because you could just say that a soldier is just as good as an orc, it's just that the soldier has armor. And that's why he's on equal footing with the orc. But maybe not. So I do need to think about that carefully. So I think that is a Thursday thing. I should actually start putting days on these. Thursday. Set up achievements building. I did that. Oh, before I move on to the next thing, I need to finish the thing I was doing this morning. So yeah, we will refactor the items. First, we're going to have a little play, and then we're going to figure out why this wasn't... Oh, and I know why. So we need to go to achievements. The thing is, upgrades actually takes a long time to load. So it loads from a coroutine, so it doesn't try and do it all in the same frame, and that does end up crashing the game. So I want to say achievements, awake, and make a public IE, well no, just a private IE numerator, start routine, and we're going to put all of this in there. And we do and then we do yield return new, and then we draw a little willy with like sideways balls. Upgrades dot initialized, and then it will wait. That's why none of these were getting added. And yeah, that'll be that then. But let's do a play. Oh no! What happened? So debugging that. Find out what the issue is there. And yeah, problems here, so fighting the Hydra. I refuse to believe that, so I'm going to try again. Maybe I just hadn't compiled it or something. Ultimania. Okay, so it did get that far. So let's have a look at that. So upgrades. So why is that giving me issues? Where is the actual bug? Oh, I think I might know why. So if we look at Ultimania, it's because poison doesn't exist. There we go, easy fix. Really? Oh, Flameheart. Okay, yeah, Flameheart is also asking for poison. Oh, God. Being a moron again. Upgrades. Flameheart. So I need to find Poison 4. So I did remember to do it for the subsequent ones, but not that one. Okay. Blood Mage. Mad Scientist. Okay, it's good. We're going to find a bunch of these. Like, I don't think I've ever actually acquired Blood Mage, so it makes sense that I haven't seen that bug before. It's that funny thing of reverse bugs that happen sometimes, where rather than looking at the game and have it not work, and so you have to look into the code to see why it's not working, you look at the code and you see some code that makes you wonder why it is working. Okay, that should deal with that. Okay, we got there. So first test, and I'm confident this will work. Oh, hello. Oh, it's paused it. Lovely. Okay. So one of the things I want to do here just before... So we actually don't want to see all achievements. We just want to see the achievements that you have to be a human to get. So we go achievements. No, we go base manager. Might just be easier to set a faction to the achievement. That might actually be the easiest thing to do. We could always say if the achievement is a character achievement, then, but actually we don't have that level of detail. So I think actually we'll set public string, it has to be a string, faction name, and whenever we make an achievement, so we do have to go through each of these achievements. Faction equals... Wait, do we do this properly? Factions. Let's do that quickly, just while we're in this kind of... I'd say we're in bonus time, because I think I'm ahead of where I thought I would be at this point, so I can do things like refactoring bits of code. So... factions And this should be easy enough to do. So we don't make the faction as we put it in. We say public static faction human beings, except humans equals new. So I don't think we even need to do that. Public static, yeah, let's do that, equals and we're gonna need and then we go so what I do is I just go humans dot, put that before each one, and then end it with a semicolon instead of a comma. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. And say all factions.add humans. And basically I need to do that for each one. A bit tedious, but could get an AI to do this, but I actually feel like it would be quicker to just do it myself. And let's go ahead and change this, which is going to be a huge deal. So I just want to go and find every instance of the word human beings and change that with humans. It's going to be a lot. And then actually should be like that, but that doesn't really matter just yet. Never mind the translations just now. Okay, so let's finish what we're doing here. So dead dot. And it might be fun to have like a different name for the orcs, like the, you know, like the name of their clan or something. But you know, we haven't got that deep into the lore yet. This is fine for now. I just want to get away from the beans thing. Okay, so then we have. Okay, that should do it. I'm a bit sad about the indentation not really being great. Oh, that is good now. Actually, I think these should be indented because they're bracketed, but never mind. That'll do. As long as it's consistent, then it doesn't look too horrible. Okay. And yeah, again, really we ought to not say is the name this string. We ought to say is the name... like it's the faction, this faction really, because the factions truly are static. So if faction is, but actually I still like doing names just because I'm kind of paranoid about how it will work, like because if anything's about to change. So faction.names is equal to factions.demons.names, but this doesn't really make a difference. So I won't worry about that just now. Okay, where does that leave us? Did we make any errors by doing that? Okay, so now we say faction name equals factions.humans.names, and that's how we want to do it. And we'll continue with this method for now. And I think, yeah, I'm just going to have to go through each and every one and paste this in. I think this is an easier way of doing it. And then so it'd be like survive as human, as the humans. So it's like the first time you do this, you'll get a big chunk because you'll get the broad one in addition to the character specific one, and we can add and remove these as we please. So that's good. And then the stage specific ones, we can say, yeah, we can have it like each faction can do each level, and it's like a nice way of making you do each one. So we'll kind of repeat this for all factions. But the kills, yeah, let's like 1,000 kills as humans. Let's have more content, more stuff that you can unlock. Right? People like that. People like having lots of things to do. We'll get rid of these removed ones for the moment because there's no point. Like if we brought them back, we would have to edit them anyway. And then now we can say yeah, if upgrade.faction.names is equal to factions.humans.names, then do this. And then we could just do like for each faction and factions dot all factions. If upgrade.names is equal to faction.names, faction name equals faction.names. There we are. Okay, so far so good. Upgrade, yeah, so this works. I really wish that was indented properly. Yeah, we would need to do this for all the languages. I'm sure that will come up. In fact, should I just do that now? I think I have ChatGPT open where it already has the context of so we have this, and this is just where I translate stuff, and I can say yep, lovely. That's so ugly though. Can I just manually fix that? I don't know why it's incapable of indenting that properly. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. Can I just grab this and then go, yeah. Lovely. Good. Thank you, ChatGPT. See, AI, even like I would never use it for like you know, like generative AI to replace good human work, but stuff like that, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's all the achievements, and so now for sure when we go in here, and of course the UI is horrible, but I'm just not even worrying about that right now, because very soon we're going to do the big UI glow up, which should be fun. It should significantly improve the look of the game. If upgrade faction equal to none, because some upgrades don't have a faction. No. No, that's not right. I know what to do. So when we modify achievements, so we go to, stuff, to sync them up, we need to make sure this achievement dot faction name equals achievement dot faction name. So one more check of that, and it should. I'm confident that'll fix it. Wouldn't hurt to set up those sprites, but it's just not needed at the moment. I just wanted to get this off my list in terms of like it works in principle. Really? Why? Is it oh yeah, no, I forgot to do it at this end. So when we for each achievement, if achievement dot faction name is equal to current faction dot faction name dot names, there we go. That's nice. Yeah. Cool. I'm happy with that. Right. So we can move on from that. Set up achievements building. So that took a little while. Think of new name for Beanie. Rania. Randar and Rania. Is that like their siblings? Is that too weird? Well, it can't be Beanie. Rania. Randar and Rania. It does make it feel like they're siblings, doesn't it? Do we have like Dunedain language? We do. What like Tolkien? Yeah, so Lord of the Rings languages, because I feel like that just is a really good way of getting names. Yeah, no, we don't really have one for like the old tongue, so we could use like ancient English. What was the one I used for Basma? Where did I get Basma from? Because it was like I was getting it from Old English. No, where was I getting it from? Like Runic? Where the hell did I get that one from? Okay, I'm just not going to question that for now. Name for beanie. Nope, let's move on. Refactor items. So, items. So we do not need the serialized field. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, that's going to cause a lot of errors. What was this prefab coming from? Oh, I see. So we have initialize object pool. It's like easier to just add game object than get the component for item. Okay, I think that worked. Compile me, show me some more errors, if there are any. Oh, the other thing, the first thing I was going to do was play, wasn't it? Wait, what's happened here? So when we create a character, I think I know what this might be. So I'm just checking if this is a script execution error issue or not, which it often is. Script execution can be a bit of a pain. I'm still in the position, I'm still at the stage where like I can get kind of bamboozled by it, but I'm getting there. Okay, yeah, so of course we are telling the characters to have that faction when factions hasn't even been set up yet. But I don't see why not. Human setup. So I think factions comes after. Factions is coming before characters here, which to me, I think that means that that it should execute first. So in that case, let's do a script execution order. Let's add factions and pop that before we do leaves. Let's see if that fixes the issue or if that creates other issues. Oy. Let's just do this while I can see it. Prefabs, effects, check, check, dash, jack slash. Wait, so if I've explicitly told it. Oh wait, no. So yeah, that's wrong. So project settings. So we do factions, and then we do characters. So we're just making sure to set up factions before we set up characters. I thought if you had it earlier on an object, it would, and it's the same point in the thing, then it would do it. Okay, so what now? This is a different thing. Okay, so another case of achievements. So achievements isn't here. Achievements should happen after factions. But achievements is going to happen after upgrades anyway. At least that part would have. Okay, yeah. Scripts execution order, lots of fun. Fun. Okay, I think we got it this time. I remember back in the day when I started coding, I didn't even know about scripts execution order, and I would have been tearing my hair out over that. So yeah, experience is good. Okay, yep. And can we have our play? So we need to fix items. Suppose it doesn't really matter where that sits. So where did items about prefab live? Yeah, so that should live, I guess, in items. You know what I should have? Oh, hey, Judge Dredd, thanks for coming back. How's it going? Stuff. Okay, we had... Did I not just... Oh, we put that in items, yeah, so... stuff.items. So tell me more about your beat 'em up game, because I like beat 'em ups. I really like. I'm a huge fan of Tekken. I'm really fucking good at Tekken. I used to play in like little tournaments and stuff, and I didn't win, but I did pretty well. And I also played a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with my friends, and not so much Street Fighter, not so much like I'm not a huge fan of them. I got pretty good at Dragon Ball Fighter Z for a bit. Played like the original Budokai on the PS2 back in the day. Tekken's my jam though. I like playing as Hwoarang. And I could do like the 10-hit combos as him for a while. But I think that muscle memory is gone. Items, what's wrong with that? Stuff.items. I was pretty good at Killer Instinct. I played as Cinder, and I was really like people hated fighting me as Cinder. Oh, I liked Fight Night. I was good at Fight Night too. Like, are you planning on releasing it on Steam? Are you going to release the game? Or is it just like a hobby project, or are you like still very too early days to think about that? I'd be happy to play it a bit to, give feedback and stuff. I just saw howdy. I didn't see any other messages. So no, I don't think your message did go through. Wait, what did I want to check? I guess if items work in general. I wanted to do a play. That's what I wanted to do, and let's see if we can get through, like get it game started. Okay, fair enough. Def Jam. No, I didn't play much Def Jam. When you say side scroller, it makes me think of. Oh, this is quite loud. I guess not like Naruto Ninja Storm. I did a tournament for that as well. When you say 2D side scroller, it makes me think of like Streets of Rage. Is it more like that, or is because I think people have different different definitions for games. So it's like a beat 'em up. To me, is a 1v1. I feel like someone just got hit by a fireball and it did. Yeah, why did the fireball do 0 damage? And why did that mage get stuck? Interesting. That's a very random bug. Fireball's doing 0 damage. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that sounds fun. Is it just that it wasn't updating the HP bar? I think that's probably what it was. So why was the fireball doing no damage? Oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, if you can make games for mobile, that's a good thing. I don't actually know how to do that. I'm sure I could figure it out, but yeah, that's cool. Beat 'em up's a good way to go. Good way to yeah, and if you know how to draw, I mean, if you want to send me some pictures and stuff, I'd love to see. But otherwise, I'll wait patiently. I do like a good beat 'em up. I've played quite a few of them. I'm really confused as to why Fireball appears to be doing no damage. Is the projectile doing damage? This is really... This is really sad. Why? Email. Okay, yeah. I won't look at it on stream if you don't want me to, but I do want to see. I don't know. Which email did you send it to? Is it Firecycle Games? I haven't got anything in there yet, but I'll keep an eye out for it. firecyclegames@gmail.com. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's not a huge game. I mean, it's kind of like I'm very carefully managing. Okay, that seems to have healed them. Okay, this is so bizarre. Oh, my email. All right. Yeah, I have an email. If you send it to firecyclegames@gmail.com, I'll write it here. I don't know if it's in my bio or not. I'm not very good at keeping up to date with all that stuff. Right. Why is Fireball healing the enemy? That is really upsetting. Why is Fireball healing the enemy? That just came out of nowhere, like, oh, what a weird bug. Why the hell is Fireball healing? What on earth did I do to make it so that Fireball starts healing the enemy? What did it... What? So I'm going to do a couple things. So I'll go to character. Randar. And we'll make his first weapon the fireball. Yeah, this is horrendous. And we'll take away the soldier just so that we can really cleanly see what's... Oh, no, we'll keep the soldier. That's fine. Okay. So why... Let's give him mage as well. Why is the fireball healing? I'm sure it's going to be something silly. I'm sure it's not going to be a difficult fix. It's just such a bizarre bug. Like, where on earth did it come from? What torture is this? What a mystery. Because I know I've messed around with like armor and stuff, so I'm thinking it could be part of take damage. But then why would that happen for a fireball but not a sword? Obviously a sword is a melee weapon, but it still basically runs on the same principle. Okay, me and my army of fireballs are going to figure this out. My army of wizards going to get on the case. At least they die from fire damage, but like... Okay, and what about... Okay, so now I'm going to try just to like discover more about this bug. Let's see if it's just an issue with projectiles. Because I know I didn't like give fireball negative damage. Like it's not like I haven't changed things. So it's not like complete mystery. But like character container. I'm gonna reset these. As soon as I can't find the thing that I'm looking for, I just reset all the open windows. So we go character container. Okay. And then we have the armor moment. But these shouldn't happen. Wait, there's a buff called Fireball? There's a buff called Fireball. Wait, there's a buff called Fireball. Okay, one thing at a time. Okay, this is, yeah, it's what happens when you do too many things without like consistently testing. Obviously, you save a lot of time by not constantly testing, but you end up having weird bugs, and because it's not related to the thing you just did, it's hard to trace what caused this. Okay. Okay. Okay, so arrows are working as they should. Okay, and game over seems to be a bit bugged, but there's probably some reason for that. There's a buff called bow. So like it's treating buffs as weapons. Okay, so that's funky. That's probably dot add. Okay, so confused. And so these numbers are fine. But let's try those numbers, and why. So it's not just the fact that it's a projectile, but if we look at the projectile script, and if I remember correctly, okay, yeah, if the AoE effect is not equal to null, and that's what the fireball does. This is Survivor-like. So if you've played, have you played Vampire Survivors or Brotato or anything like that? It's like that, but with this huge difference in that, in addition to being able to summon allies, in addition to being able to choose your weapons and like armor, you can choose allies that spawn and run on the same rules as the enemy. What is that symbol? So let's go fireball. I've been working on it since about May last year. Kind of on and off, I'd say all in about 8 months. But not... so yeah, like... Because, you know, lots of distractions, lots of other bits of work and stuff like that. Like I said, did a little brief stint at Fen Research. I don't know. That's one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. Why are my weapons... Why are my characters getting a buff that is the name of the weapon? And then the other problem, why is the fireball healing people? Why is the fireball healing people? I feel like it's got to be something along the lines of... Okay, so let's go... Why is this there? Make AoE effect. And then do I do something crazy like initialize... The thing is, an AoE effect is this, like a sword attack is an AoE effect. So why is that different? I'm so lost. So this is bards. This is something that I did fairly recently, and one of the things it does is it will set the HP. So I'm gonna say debug.log and find out what's triggering this, but also I can just... Yeah, I don't know. No, because like the bow is also... So the it's also happening with the bow. Do you mean the healing? The healing, like the fire effect is actually... Ah, yeah! 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 Add buff, that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. So it's a very... I did a stupid. So thank you. I did a stupid. If I update HP bars, it sets their HP to max. And so any and the reason it happens for fireballs and not bows is because fireballs add a debuff. So we just want to go to... We don't want to initialize bars. We just want to do HP equals character. No, we want to do this. Let's just do this. Let's... what's that programming principle? Do not repeat yourself. I'm going to repeat myself. Like, I could have... Just when a buff is added... no, because when a buff is added... It's like we want to do all of them except... So we don't want to initialize bars. So I'll just take this and delete as appropriate. But if we add a buff, because the maximum HP is going to change... We do, in fact, want to set lines and all of that. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for the boost there. I feel like I was split seconds away from getting it, but I think you did help. Thank you. Okay, so that's redundant. That definitely not. That definitely not. But the rest, yes. Definitely all of this. Okay, that's going to fix it. Okay, and then we'll deal with the separate problem of why is a weapon being treated as a buff? So back to add buff actually. Thanks for joining, Rise and Tide. I feel like I recognize your name. Yeah, I know Kenshi. I played Kenshi. I liked Kenshi. It didn't run so well on my computer. It ended up chugging, but yeah, I really enjoyed Kenshi. I think I'd like fully completed it. The way I did it was I went mining like in a town, and I kind of built myself up as a blacksmith. And I found actually the best thing to do was to like buy cloth and turn it into headbands and sell them. And otherwise, and then while I waited for like the shops to refresh, I I would mine and then carry the ore to and from the place that I could sell the ore, and that made my legs really strong. And slowly, like, so I played it very carefully. Like, I didn't go into danger unless I needed to. Obviously, I saved some, scummed the shit out of it. And then I think I like built a little dojo near a giant gorilla where we would train martial arts. And in my head canon, it was like some special martial arts school where they just have like a captive gorilla that they practice fighting on. So long story short, yes, I have played Kenshi, and I liked it. There's quite a lot of good indie games that are made here. I think there we go. That's more like it. I think what's the one I was thinking of? I mentioned it earlier. Cult of the Lamb. I think that was made here. Let's see my Steam library. Yeah, there's quite a few games made in the UK actually. These are high-end games that I can't really run on this computer too well. And then games that I finished. Yeah, quite a lot of good games are made in the UK. Yeah, Kenshi's great. Larian is in the UK. It's not an indie, but I should probably uninstall Mugenics. I'm not. I've finished it. I didn't 100% it, but yeah, I did a little bit of that. But it was a nightmare having a base in the swamp. And those bloody Ravagers would keep attacking, and you kind of look away for a bit, and one of your guys has been murked off by a Ravager. Or what were they called? Ravagers? The little bug things. They were bloody nasty. Okay, so where does this originate from? Spawn ally. Yep, I think I know where this is going. Spawn ally. Such spaghetti code that I'm dealing with. Yep, spawn ally. God, it's like 3 versions of that. Okay, so we want to add a buff. So in player.upgrades, I thought I was already checking. Okay, yeah. If upgrade stat name is not equal to, and then default for stat name should be NA. I loved watching, do you know that YouTuber Ambiguous Amphibian? Yeah, that's his name. He does like Project Zomboid videos. He does a few on Kenshi. And like the ones where he just plays as like a swarm of torsos chinning their way through the desert. It's amazing like how much like further ahead indie is than a lot of AAA. I was kind of ranting earlier before I had to log off, but like Like it's the sort of in games industry as opposed to like just people making games is the blind leading the blind. Like there are some good people making games, don't get me wrong. But the people in charge of those people don't know how to recognize them. God, I played Spider-Man 2 again recently. And it's like there's so much about that game that's just not good that they obviously didn't understand why Spider-Man 1 was really good. Like obviously it's not a terrible game. And it's things like Venom, like, and I'm just talking about story now, but it's just amazing to me how good the animation on Venom was in Spider-Man 2, the Insomniac games. But how shit the character development was. And how they just did not understand why Venom was cool. Having this whole army of Venoms appear and making it Harry Osborn, like, it was just like, sorry to rant, but, okay, I think I've dealt with all those little startup bugs. There's a buff called Fireball. No, there isn't. But we'll keep that up. And we want to change. Yeah, indie studios are definitely the future. I mean, it's just one of those situations where, like, so here's what happens, right? Games start doing really well, and some investor finds that they invest, let's say, 5 million into a studio, and then the studio turns around and says, "Great, your investment of 5 million, I've now turned that into 50 million," and the investor's like, "What? Okay." Can I give you? So I gave you 5. Can I give you 100 million? Can you turn 100 million into 500 million? And if you ask me that, I would say absolutely not. I can't make 500 million with a game. That is a massive long shot. Could happen, but it's likely not going to. Then the guy next to me said, "I can. I can turn 100 million into 500 million." And those are the people who now run the industry. And obviously, 9 times out of 10 they can't turn it into 500 million, except for like Fortnite and stuff. And then the people who are in charge of what games get money or not don't understand why Fortnite was successful. And yeah, it's as simple as that, really. And it's like we've got the blind leading the blind, and we've got a lot of people who really have no business making all the games, and they have no idea. They have no idea. As a lot of the people that I knew and who were like had high level design positions are no better off making design choices than a random gamer that you would find in like a Steam lobby. Yeah, well, not all of the people, but yeah, a lot of them will. The major shareholders, but it's also the devs. Like the devs are awful. They gatekeep. They definitely only hire people who are just like them. As in, they only hire people who share the exact same politics, which tends, and have a certain... Like, I snuck in, basically. Yeah, like, a lot of devs just don't know what the hell they're doing, and it's really sad because a lot of these people have been, like, working as devs for, like, 5 to 10 years, and they really don't know what they're doing, but that's all they really know how to do now. And they're out of a job, and I feel bad for them, but it's like they had no business making games. They had no business making games. Like, they would not survive. I think if you can't turn a profit as a solo dev with 2 years of time, like if you can't make more money, if you can't make enough money to pay yourself to do that, you have no business. You have no business running a team of 5 people, let alone 100. You have no, like... You have to figure out. That's what I had to do. I had to make a couple games that paid me for the time that I spent on them, like minimum wage at least, to then understand how to make a game. And you've got people who do not understand the thing about this, making games, leading teams of 10 or more people, and it's insane. Like, having been behind the curtain now in an industry studio, not for very long, only one of them, or only a couple of them, and they're it's just as bad as you could imagine. The wokeness, the incompetence, the hiring practices, the disorganization, the antagonism towards the studios. I made a bunch of indies, and I worked at Jagex for a while on RuneScape, and they didn't let me do very much, to be honest. But I made a game called Blacksmith, which was my first game. And then I made a game called Human Factory, which was a complete and utter failure. It failed, like, financially. I think, like, the few people who played it seemed to like it, but it's definitely an unfinished game, and I had to just kind of, like, release it anyway, because otherwise it's it's better than nothing. It's playable. It's very playable. You can play through it. It just doesn't really have an ending. Not that it needs one. It's a factory game. Factory/colony game. And then I made a game called Grid Slayer, which is I learned a lot with that game. It took me about 6 months to make, and didn't really quite pay me minimum wage for 6 months. And then I made a game called Interrogation Simulator, which is funny because it's like my most popular game. And when I released it, I was like, it took me like a couple months, and I was like, this is shit. Nobody's going to play this. Nobody's going to like this. It's going to get mostly negative reviews, and then I'm going to stop playing. And then I'm going to like move on to the next one and just, hide it or something. Turns out people absolutely loved it. It's got 57 reviews on Steam. It's like 97% positive. It's £2 if you want to check it out. Then I made a game called Love Quest, which again took a couple months. Totally experimental, arty game, as in it intentionally frustrates you. I could make a lot of it's based around a guy called Chris Chan. I don't know if you've heard about that. Don't look it up if you haven't. Just spare yourself. But it's like I think the reviews are fair. A couple of the reviews talk about like this game, like there's some absolutely glowing reviews and there's some absolutely terrible reviews, and I agree with all of them, basically. And then I got the job offer at Jagex and went and did that for a couple of years. And I started making a game called Grapple Apple. I have actually nearly finished Interrogation Simulator Volume 2, but this is the game that I want to work on because this is the game that I like the most. And I reckon it will be ready in 6 months or so. Where was I? I think I just wanted to play a bit and just make sure no more bugs happened. Or I wanted to just see, so we're in bonus time, so I don't mind chatting instead of doing work all the time. So we want to go characters, Randar, and set him back to his normal state. Sword and soldier. Yeah, so I made quite a few games, and then I worked on RuneScape 3. I actually designed a lot of the big area expansion they did. I think they butchered it though. Although, I think they butchered it. I don't know. I haven't played it. And I worked for 1 week with Andrew Gower at Fen Research, and if you look at that game, you'll see why I only worked there for 1 week, because I was like, I'm not doing this. And he wasn't paying me enough to work on a game that's that bad with a guy, and I think I can say Andrew Gower is a prick. Like, not just to me, like, he is a prick. He is a, like, when and just I don't know if I'm being too mean. I don't know if I'm coming off as bitter. But every time I think of Andrew Gower now, and every time I hear about something with him, I can smell tooth decay. It was horrendous. I don't know. I think I'm being a bit too mean there. I don't mean to be. Okay, let's get armor just because we're like wanting to see that. So now even witches have armor. Oh, did the witch spawn in with 0 armor? She did. It does start to repair, but the witch did just spawn in with 0 armor, so why is that? I think I know why. I think it's because when we spawn a character... Okay, so this is working. Well, yeah, it's like, so for example, when we spawn a character... Yeah, when we spawn a character, okay, so where do we initialize bars? So what we want is yeah. Initialize bars. So when we spawn an ally, this script is pretty spaghettified. Right, so spawn ally. And we give them their we add the buff, but then we do on spawn. So then we need to say new character container dot. Is that a matter of so on spawn? Yeah, because we've added, so yeah, new character container. So we do need to, like, so this is bad. This is spaghetti, but I'm just gonna do it now to fix the problem. Dot armor equals new character max armor, because they've just spawned. They should have max armor, and I should do that for health as well, because it's possible that the buff would have added more max HP and it won't be reflected. But could I not just say, like, they've spawned new character dot initialize bars? I think that should do it. So now when a witch spawns in and she's got some armor, I think that's it. I have heard of Abe's Odyssey. That was one of my jams back in the day. I used to love. I like played a lot of Abe's Odyssey back in the day. What is that symbol? Oh, when I because it's like a weird, like, it looks like a sword and an A, and then I hover over it, and then it's is that like what is that symbol? It's like corrected. Yeah. Welcome, Jack, by the way. Yeah, I loved that game. Because especially when it came out, it was one of the few games that had, like, really impressive cutscenes, and just the way it was rendered, it just looked so impressive. And I had that on PS1, and I would play the shit out of that game, and I mean, I still do. I used to be so, like, when I saw CG animation, I was, like, hooked. I was like, what is this? I thought, like, computer generated animation, like 3D animation, was so beautiful to me, and it was for a long time. I was one of the morons that thought that potentially 3D animation was like better or just as good as 2D animation. I've been proven wrong on that. I think it's like, it's quite simple. So it's like you make a 3D model, like you make a high-end 3D model and like the animations for Abe, and then you basically like bake that into some pixel graphics, and then you get some like nice pixel art. Okay, what should I pick? Okay, so everything seems to be working. So that was a big one of like, yeah, restoring everyone's HP to full every time they got a buff. That was dumb. So I think we're good to actually do an earnest run. Let's get rations just to like, and then what we should see is this. I know what I was hoping to see, and I've got to make sure this is actually working then, is, oh, let me see. So rations, it doesn't look like, yeah. So max HP, I'm glad I picked that and checked it out because my suspicion was correct. So add buff causing all kinds of chaos today. And if it's max HP, then we just simply add the buff value. So it's not multiplicative. Yeah, Clay Mansion. Actually just made me think of Clay Fighter. But yeah, that's how they did it. That's how they did Donkey Kong Country. So they would take this like high-end, like almost Pixar level animation of Donkey Kong moving along, and then they would just bake that into 2D graphics. And then what you ended up with was a Donkey Kong game on the Super Nintendo that looked a bit like a Pixar movie. And again, back in the day, I was just gobsmacked by that. I still am kind of like, that's really impressive. Okay, so max HP. So we're increasing max HP by a percentage. I think we should still do that. Ah. Okay, yeah, let's do that just to be safe. So rations, because I recently like changed this a bit, so it's not like rations has worked perfectly well for a long time. It's just I made this mistake of saying it increases max HP. No, it's specifically rations. And this is all just the product of me having coded the... should I go through it all again? No, I'm not going to explain it again. You can watch the old streams. It's like the rations characters are made as they enter into the list. Therefore, I can't modify my own value called a stat. I can only like modify floats. And what I would like to do is buffs should have a list of stats on them, which can then match the names with a list of stats that's on the character and then modify those. And then instead of this massive switch case, we just do a for each loop. And it figures it out. But I couldn't do that because it's added to the list as it's made, and that made me realize that the old way that I did things before I tried to get AI to help me was actually better than what the AI had suggested. So, lesson learned. Don't trust the machines. Just seeing some... jobs come up. Seeing growth manager for game, that could be me. All right. But I'm like super hyped about the indie thing. Like I have to say, I'm really like having 5 concurrent viewers twice in a day is like a big deal for me, and it makes me think that I can actually maybe do this indie thing and actually be able to support myself by making indie games. So screw having like some industry job. But you know, I still need to keep applying for them. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support. Yeah. So I think we refactored the items thing. Like I just did that little fix. We don't have to add that to the encyclopedia yet. I mean, we can easily do that. Let's do that. So in and yes. Basically, when I took 2 years off to work at Jagex, I got super rusty at programming. And I did lots of stupid things. Come on, let me have the window that I want, please. Thank you. So I think the encyclopedia is actually in the options menu, which is dumb. Is it? So we would want to have factions, artifacts, stages, and items. And then and then we have this part. In case you click on stages, you could also click on items. So items, all items, 0 dot, and then the cheap and effective way. Like I could refactor this to make this tidier, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go. Wait. All items is a list of items, so it should be all items 0 dot sprite renderer. No, where's items? Yeah, an item should have a sprite renderer. Ah. Where was I? Okay. Okay, so we would want one just like this, but for items. Encyclopedia state equals items. Don't know why this happens twice, so I'll get rid of it. For each item in items dot all items. And then we would actually need, so yeah, actually to refactor this properly, to make it work for thingy. So at the moment item is a thing that we like. It's the script, whereas what we really need is like item container and hey, like okay, so yeah, that needs doing. So that's going to be more work than I was just thinking just now. I thought I could just quickly do it, but it is going to be a bit of a hassle for the very small incremental improvement that you can check out items in the encyclopedia. Fair bit of work, but you know. I think 3D colliders work in the exact same way in 3D, at least from the point of view of the developer. It's actually just the same. Obviously, it can move in more directions, but it's not much more work doing colliders in 3D than it is doing it in 2D. Okay, so let's do a full screen play of the game. And see how it feels, because armor has changed things quite drastically. Actually, speaking of the encyclopedia, yeah, we're going to need more info from the heroes. Is it really just showing speed? And because so a character should be showing more stats. I'll put that on the list. Encyclopedia should show more stats for characters, because I want to see that his attack speed is a little bit lower as a penalty for having armor. Okay. When in doubt, pick the one that has a synergy, has a combo. Okay, weapons, yeah. So I will pick the mage, because I like mages. No, we were already going to mix the shield bearer with the soldier, so we don't need to set that combo up. I will take the spear then. And one of the other things that so armor is a very, like, the way armor works now is a very new system. And one of the things it allows me to do is potentially remove this idea that I get all my HP back every time we level up, which will absolutely drastically change the game. Let's try it. Let's try it. Not for this run, but for the next run. So level up. XP greater than and then where do we heal? Yeah. Let's not heal anymore. Or let's heal 10. Just see how that goes. See if that absolutely changes the game. It's probably going to make it a lot harder. Like a lot harder. Let's get armor, because that's our new thing. So the way armor used to work was just reduce damage by a percentage of whatever your armor is. And the way armor works now is we have this little grey bar on top of the characters. And we've also improved the look of the grey bar. Yeah, let's get the witch, because she combos with the wizard, the mage. And yes, I recently updated the look of the HP bars, and I'm really, really pleased with it. It looks much more legit. Yeah, I played a lot of Warcraft. I played a lot of... I didn't play that much Age of Empires. I prefer the fantasy genre. I played a little bit of StarCraft. I played They Are Billions more recently, which is a really cool zombie one. And I'm a huge fan of Total War. I don't know if Total War counts as an RTS. So this is what you want to see. You want to see that you've got a nice big army. I would like a heal. Since I think you can get priests, but you have to unlock. At the moment, they're like not unlocked by default. Love these new health bars. They're like, even though there's kind of like all this armor and stuff to them, they're like a little bit less distracting. But also the fact that I chose armor and that all the characters have a bit more armor, like, makes me feel good. So yeah, that was a really worthwhile change. You know, it was like, I don't know, good like day of work for quite a big improvement to the game. So we've got a nice chunky army here. And I enjoy healing them up. I enjoy being the healer. So yeah, in 10 seconds we're gonna get the loot goblin. But we not that we need it. So I think armor has made my army maybe a bit too strong. We'll see. Oh, something went wrong. Something about artifacts. Okay. Well, this run's going to be a bit balked then. Yeah. Okay, well, you know, it's working at least. And it's nice to see it with the health bars. Obviously, not working at that point. So the thing to test then is... yeah, we'll get to that. The thing to test then is HUD artifact. Yeah, we want to turn this back on basically. So at 5 minutes. Let's try that out. Oh god, I can't try it out. Okay, so I have to finish this. So we need... Okay, do we have items? Okay. So we're gonna like break this and make it again. So first, just for prettiness, doesn't make any real difference, but I feel like these should be capitalized. They're not private, they are public. Total War, I liked, in terms of, oh, obviously Warhammer Total War, that's the best one. I loved it. Empire, I mean, I played, Rome 1, Rome 2, I know the ones I don't like. Rome 2 was like such a good game, except they broke it with the, overworld system, because basically in order to not have like constant civil war, you just have to like open up some menus and click send money, and it's just like, it's a pain. Don't want to have to do that. Okay, so what we want to do is make item like not a mono behavior. We want to have something called item container. That's going to be my word for it. I don't know if there's like a standardized word, but this is the game object that has the item on it. And the item container has an item on it. So everything's going to break for a minute here. What's your favorite Total War? Just do it the same way I've been doing it on other things. I should know by now, but upgrade. Yeah, we just go public class, open the thing. And then what lives inside an item. Oh, nice. Same then. I liked Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I thought that was a fun spin on the format. The way that you had like the heroes challenging each other in battle, and the fact that each army was, or each general was limited to 3 units, and each army was limited to 3 generals. I liked that. I liked it because it was different. But yeah, the best one's Warhammer. I loved playing the Mortal Empires campaign. There's one thing I did when I was at my last job. I had a super duper duper beast monster computer, which I was absolutely in love with, and it ran Total War 3 Mortal Empires campaign at full settings, at full resolution, like butter. It was beautiful, and that was probably one of the best game experience that I had. Although the thing that stuck with me is the last memory, which was just trudging through the Nurgle territory, and just kind of cleaning it up, and it wasn't particularly fun. But yeah, no, that's the shit right there. Okay, so in item, so this is a thing, and this can just be public. Item type, effect amount, move speed. Okay, that seems like more of a, yeah, go away, comment. Effect amount, that's fine. I think value is probably a better term. And then so in item, these are things that exist in item. Why is item type giving me grief? What's wrong with this? Does this need to sit outside of... Okay, yeah, I guess it does. Move speed. Okay, yeah, so this is there anything outside that would want to affect that? So this can just be private. No, it has to be public because things outside are going to affect it. What would affect it? Let's go private and then see if it brings up any bugs. Okay, sprite renderer, yeah. Yeah, that's fun, yeah. Audio clip. What do I call that usually? I should know this, but a weapon. Let's put this at the top. Audio clip, sound. Well, that's not right. That's a crap name. What did I do? Okay, so let's just call it audio clip then. Sprite render audio source. Player. No, that's not efficient. Okay. This is all to do with stuff like on the container rather than the actual class. The collider, dice, heal list. Okay, yeah, we can keep all that as it is. It's not super tidy, but it's not wrong either. Oh, that's an optimization, isn't it? Yeah, I should keep that then. We just store player on the item at start, and that way we don't have to like grab it. I think that's a slight optimization, and optimization is important on items because there's lots of them. Okay. Speed. So this is all stuff to do with the actual thing, and then collect. So this would be item dot effect amount, and then the item. So it would actually need a name, and this is the this is the thing that we need for the encyclopedia. Public list string names equals new list string. Public list name string descriptions. What the hell just happened? Never mind. Buttery fingers descriptions equals new list string. Okay. I'm starting to burn out a little bit. As in, it's 3 o'clock. I'm gonna finish at 4 today. So I need to sort myself out a bit before taking my boy for a bike ride. He's learning to ride without stabilizers. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so what we need to do is construct it. So xpgem prefab, no, public sprite effect amount item type. That should do it. And then basically, instead of having a bunch of prefabs called item, which again is how the AI told me to do it, which is wrong, we have just one item. We have one prefab called item container. And that has all the stuff on it. So initial distance, escape timer, that's all stuff that's on. So this script should be called item container. Where are you? So this is a very it's a very minor thing, but I think it's important to be able to really see the effect of items in the encyclopedia and just have everything stored properly. Okay. And then so when we make the item, so we'll have something called public void construct item. We say, so we don't need prefab, so prefab is wrong. Yeah, I'm definitely not at full speed right now. Okay. So then in the prefabs, oh, what did I just do? Looks like I just moved, yeah, I just killed a folder or something. Okay, so xpgem. So one of the things is I've written the stuff here. So xpgem effect amount equals 1. So we go xp gem xp gem dot names, and we'll have to localize this equals new list string xp gem. Should I have it here or somewhere else? I'm still not sure whether I should have it in sprites or just have it here. So we should have. In fact, no. Let's. I think it should live in sprites. Is that more awkward or less awkward, having to go to a different script or having the top of this covered in sprites? I think it's less awkward like this. Let's. Not decided on this one yet. Looking back, this probably wasn't worthwhile. I probably should have just done some kind of like, if item equals this, then tell me this, you know, but here we are. We've started, so let's finish. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we go. Okay, if we're doing capital P for XP, then let's do it across all of them. And then I'll get the effect amounts from the prefabs. I'm just doing all the other bits first. Collector. Just grabbing one with one word so I don't have to do that. Getting rid of the space in the word XP gem, just copying from one that's a single word. Summoner, bomb. And soul. Okay, and then so when we make an item, okay, yeah, so we need like a special one to construct an item now. because it turned out to be way more hassle than I thought. But, you know, let's keep going with it. Instantiate item container. What did we make? Oh dear. There should be items transform. Oh. I'm kind of melting a bit. I kind of feel like undoing all of this. No, just keep going. Let's get to the other end of this. It's like, it feels like a waste of time. But we're gonna have refactor items, so they work in the encyclopedia. I'm gonna put that on Thursday's list because I'm not gonna finish it before today. Artifacts. That's like a Friday thing, I guess. Strat sound effects, yeah, and think of a new name for Beanie. I'm gonna try and do that by tomorrow. And I should be able to do this as well. It's like take a few minutes. Could do it. I could do it like in an hour. It just needs to focus for a bit. And I'm not made of hours. And then this one's nice and easy as well. And basically anything I don't get done here can go onto the Friday list, because this Fridays I'm not going to be completely consumed by artifacts. And then we've just got this list of shit, and then sound effects, stages, which is mostly drawing, and then code. There's a lot of big ones here, visuals, a lot of big ones here. I'm going to put visuals up ahead of code and optimization because they're both code. And then I've got design, which is stuff that like I'm kind of putting on the later list. Like, yes, I should definitely do this, but I shouldn't do this now. I should wait till I'm like further along. And I think to avoid making mistakes, I'm going to take a little break now. I'm going to end the stream. I'll probably do a little bit more of this off stream. I'll try and finish this off stream. Otherwise, I'll be doing it tomorrow. And yeah, here's tomorrow's to-do list. Finish this items thing, and then we've got this thing of balancing the level 2 enemies, like doing that in a different way. And a couple other random bits off stream. So yeah, that's today. Thanks for everyone who joined. Really great turnout today. So thanks so much for joining. I do really appreciate every subscriber I get. Got like 5 this week so far. So, you know, absolutely makes my week. So thank you so much for that. It really helps me carry on with this project. Like you can see, I'm developing. I started streaming after I started developing, but at the moment, every single step of development is either going to be performed or explained as part of this live stream series. So please stick around if you're enjoying that, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 9ish. So have a good evening. Cheers, bye.